There are people in the sanctuary. It makes it harder to start on time. I'm sorry to all of you online. Oh, I can see you on the screen. Yay. Hi. So nice. It is. It's so sweet. So sweet. Steve, I noticed there's a big thing that said, like, you have to press OK. Awesome. Thank you. Yay. Yai lai dai, 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 dai 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 dai, yai lai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai 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 dai 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 dai. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. So good to hear you singing with me, and I'm sure for you to hear each other singing. And welcome to everyone online. We're so glad you're with us. Today is Shabbat Vayakel, and Rabbi Jackie will be announcing the new moon of Adar 2 in our service, and Jordan Sadarin will be chanting Torah. We're so happy and grateful to be in the sanctuary today, and we will be getting probably most of the transliterations into the chat for all of you online. In our gratitude for being together today, we just want to have a few reminders, not to alarm, but just to help us know what to do in case of an emergency. So look around, find your closest exit, alternative exit. Just be alert to your surroundings. If you see something alarming, just tell someone. And in the event of an active threat, please leave the building and call 911. It's sad to have to say these things, but we want to be prepared for any possible situation. So we turn our attention to the prayers of this morning, to the blessing and gift of Shabbat. We talked about in Torah study, this island of time, this holiday, this anchor. Each week we get to return to Shabbat. It's a homecoming, and a homecoming to sweetness and to song and to prayer and to community and togetherness. And we so need an anchor in these times. And just really want to dedicate our prayers today to the people of Ukraine. And we'll be talking about them and just offering up ongoing prayers for their peace, for their safety, for their protection. So may all that is said here today transcend this space and ripple out into the winds of the world and reach the people, all people who are suffering. We begin with Moda'ani, Moda'ani, gratitude for being alive and awake in this day. Page 84. Moda'ani lefanecha melech chai וקיים מודה אני לפניך מלך חי וקיים מודה אני לפניך מודה אני לפניך. For Elohai Neshama, we lift up the purity of our souls. But today I wanted to sing something just slightly different, and I recognize that we don't have the words here in the room. People online will have those. But just the Lev Tahor, the words of Lev Tahor, I wanted to bring in today. And create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me. Renew a true soul within me. And the Hebrew is Lev Tahor Barali Elohim. Barali Lev Tahor. V'ruach nachon chadesh chadesh bekirbi. Create a pure heart in me. Hold on, I'm going to find my melody. Oh, I can't remember my melody now. That's beautiful. It's not the melody I know.
We wouldn't know.
I just have to find it. I practiced it. I know it. We sang it at Rachel's bar mitzvah. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me. Renew a true soul within. Create a pure heart in me, great spirit. Create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me. Renew a true soul within. Lev Tahor Berali Elohim, Berali Lev Tahor. Lev Tahor Berali Elohim, Berali Lev Tahor. Veruach nachon chadesh chadesh bekirbi, chadesh chadesh bekirbi. Baruch ata Adonai hamachazir nishamot lifkarim metim. Praised are you, Adonai, constantly renewing life within us with your breath of love. Page 108, Elecha. Bottom of the page. Elecha Adonai ekra Ve'el Adonai etchanan Elecha Adonai ekra Ve'el Adonai etchanan Shema Adonai V'choneini Adonai Eternal One, I call, and to my God I cry out. Hear me, Eternal One, and be gracious. Eternal One, be a help for me. I want to now do a psalm that's a psalm really sung on Friday nights, or Zarua from Psalm 97. And first a translation by Alden Salavi. Light is sown by the righteous, tucked into cracks in the sidewalks, dropped in the grass, breathed into the air, left waiting for others to find. You who are upright in heart, let your deeds declare your love. Let your hands be a source of healing. Let your joy be a fountain of blessing. Rejoice in righteousness and spread holiness through your days. Light is sown for you to magnify in service of God's holy name. And the words to this are Or Zarua Lat Sadik U Leyishre Lev Simcha. So I'm going to try to teach this one so we can all sing along. So Or Zarua Lat Sadik. I'm going to try that. Zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. And then we sing it again, but we go down on the last note. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. And the next part goes, Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua uli yishrei lev simcha. Or uli yishrei lev simcha. It means light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. Let's try it. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. 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 Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik. 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 Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Ule yishrei lev simcha. Yishrei lev simcha. May light be sown for the righteous, especially today in Ukraine. May radiance be for them. May they be upright and strong, courageous, as they face all that they're facing. Psalm 150 is on page 138. We bring in the songs of all the sounds of the universe, all the instruments, but also imagine all breath, all song, bird songs, penguin songs. Do penguins have songs? Bees' songs and the flaps of their wings, the rustling of the leaves as song, and our voice, our souls, our bright, beautiful souls, our song for praise. Hallelujah, 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 help it control, hallelujah, birki hauzo, hallelujah, vigvurotav, hallelujah, kerov good Lord. Hallelujah, 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 beteka shofar, hallelujah, benevel vechinor, hallelujah, betov umachor, hallelujah, beminim beugav, hallelujah, 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 betzitz leishama, hallelujah, betzitz letrua, kohan shama, tehalelia, hallelujah, hallelujah, kohan shama, tehalelia, hallelujah, hallelujah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Page 140, Nishmat Kol Chai, the breath of all life blesses the name of Yud-He Vav-He. Nishmat Kol Chai, Tivarech et Shimcha, Adonai Eloheinu. Nishmat Kol Chai, Tivarech et Shimcha, Adonai Eloheinu. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, dai 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 dai, dai dai yai dai dai dai. Page 143, middle of the page. Barchi nafshi et Adonai וכל קרבי את שם קודשו. ההל בתעצומות עוזך הגדול בכבוד שמך. הגיבור לנצח והנורא בנורותיך. המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא, שוכן עד מרום וקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני, לישרים נאווה תהילה, בפי ישרים תתרומם, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתקדש, ובקרב קדושים תתהלל. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו. שמיים וארץ. ברכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך הטוב בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אלכי העולמים. We come to the Baruch Hu, which is on page 149, and I just want to invite those in the room to just take a moment and wave to each other, say hello, see each other, and to all of you on Zoom, to just look around the screen and see who's there. Greetings to you on Zoom, on streaming, to all of you, welcome. We can't do this alone. We are a community. So essential, so essential. We rise. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach leolam va'ed. Hamevorach, hamevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or vorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. You abound in blessings, eternal our God, sovereign of all time and space, who forms light and creates darkness, making peace and creating all things. We turn to Or Chadash, the closing words of this beautiful prayer about light, on page 156. We lift up God, we lift up light, we lift up creation. And today on Shabbat, this island of time and space and holiness, we focus on the light. We seek comfort from the light. We channel the light of the universe for good and for hope. We hold on to it to not lose hope. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu b'mhira le'oro, Baruch Ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Let a new light shine upon Zion, upon Ukraine, upon all the world. May we all soon be worthy of that light. Blessed are you, Eternal One, Creator of the cosmic lights. And we lift up love. Ahava Rabbah, page 157. Ahava Rabbah, Avtanu, 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 Ahava Rabbah, Avtanu. And bottom of page 157. Ve'ha'erinenu betoratecha ve'dabek lebeinu b'mitzvotecha ve'yached levavenu le'ahava u'lira et shemecha ve'lo Hagadol v'hanora b'hatachnu Nagila v'nismecha Nagila v'nismecha b'yeshuatecha. For those of us wearing talitot, we pull together the corners of our talit, remembering the Torah that holds us, the teaching that holds us, and ultimately just that preciousness holds us. And we call in peace from the four corners of the world, peace into our hearts. V'avienu l'shalom me'arba kanfot haaretz v'tolechenu komemiyut le'artzenu ki el poel Yeshuat ata v'kerevtanu l'shimcha hagadol sele be'emet le'hodod lecha yechedecha be'ahava baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel. Shema is on 160. Please respect your custom if it is to rise. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We continue silently on our own. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Bottom of page 165, we enter into the Michamocha prayer, recalling the liberation our people have known, that we knew at the sea as we were pursued. Miracles happened, a gateway opened up, a path for us to cross over. May that be so for all people who are fleeing, all people who need a path through to safety, to liberation, to salvation. Tehilot l'Elyon Baruch Hu Mvorach, Moshe v'nei Yisrael l'cha'anu shira, b'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו וימלכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובדך חנומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. The Amidah is on page 167. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. May God open my lips that I might utter praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel veLeah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol,
וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי כל חיי אתה, רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי כל חי ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיו כל חי, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי כל חי. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, וכתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אז בקול רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מנסים לעומת צרפים, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך בציון? בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש בתוך ירושלים עירך, לדור ודור ולנצח נצחים, ועינינו תראינה מלכותך, כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך, על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש, האל הקדוש. We continue silently on our own, and a song of peace will bring us back.
Thank you, Jordan. I want to bring in the words of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, a Ukrainian brilliant rabbi and teacher who is buried in the land of Ukraine. This is his prayer for peace. Adon HaShalom, Melech Shehashalom, Shelo Ose Shalom, Uvore Et HaKol. Lord of peace, divine ruler to whom peace belongs, master of peace, creator of all things, may it be your will to put an end to war and bloodshed on earth, and to spread a great and wonderful peace over the whole world, so that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. Help us and save us all, and let us cling tightly to the virtue of peace. Let there be a truly great peace between every person and their fellow, and between husband and wife, and let there be no discord between any people, even in their hearts. And may it be that all people love peace and pursue peace, always in truth and with wholeheartedness, without holding on to any disputes ever again, which would divide us against each other. Let us never shame any person on earth, great or small. May it be granted unto us to fulfill your commandment to love thy neighbor as thyself, with all our hearts and souls and bodies and possessions. And let it come to pass in our time as it is written, and I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. I will drive the wild beasts from the land, and neither shall the sword go through your land. Adonai, who is peace, bless us with peace. Adonai Shalom, Barchenu Bishalom. And let us say, Amen. Our Torah service begins on page 215. Thank you. Wondering if we have a volunteer for someone to open the ark and for someone to hold the Torah today. Yeah, Micah. Great. Gretzky, do you want to open the ark? Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'en k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo iten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Avarachamim etiva v'rtzonecha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim. Kivecha levad batachnu, Melech Elram v'nisa, Adon olamim. You can get the Torah. Vayehi bin Aaron, vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, ve'afutzu oivecha, ve'yanusu misanecha, mipanecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai miYerushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch
Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'Kdushato. We turn to page 218.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Face this way. Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromemha Shemo yachdav. And so, Micah, you can move through the congregation and we'll just wave to the Torah as it comes by as opposed to touch it. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'haod ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai ha'mamlacha ve'ha'omim lechol erosh Ramemu Adonai Ve'hishachavu, ve'hishachavu, le'hado, rabbavu, ramemu, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'hishachavu, ve'hishachavu, lehar kosho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We may be seated in Yasher Koach. Shabbat Shalom. I admit that trying to find what to say this morning was not easy for me. Thinking about Ukraine, I wanted to reconcile the horror of it in some way, but I couldn't, and I can't, and I won't. But I did find a little something in the Torah portion, a littlest something that was a sparkle of comfort. Our Parsha this week gives us God's design for the Mishkan, which includes 2 kruvim, or cherubim, angels fashioned of gold, who are to hover with outstretched wings above the Aron, the ark which contains the tablets of the Torah. This has always been a beautiful image to me, and is no less so today. I believe that it is preciousness within that Aron, and angels are guarding it, because that which is precious needs guarding. This is also the place above the Aron in the Mishkan, which upon completion of its construction, God will sit. God right there, making this location, this makom, this place, the holiest of holies. As I wrote in my message to the congregation yesterday, I think of God as a divine force compelling us, calling us to act for healing and love and salvation in the world. So then I imagine that this is where, this place above the Aron, this is where the source of all that goodness sat then in the desert as our people wandered, with these golden angels and the Torah, our great teacher, our anchor, in the center of our people's encampment. And it jumps off the pages that we read to sit with us today in the center of our hearts, in the center of this sacred space. And this is a comfort to me. I then read a sweet little commentary by Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory, that the only other place we see a pair of kruvim angels in the Torah is when Adam and Eve are exiled from the garden. The kruvim are stationed outside the garden with their flaming swords, restricting and blocking Adam and Eve from the tree of life that is within. Eitz HaChaim. Rabbi Sachs points out that we also call the Torah Eitz Chaim. Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba. It is a tree of life also. Thus, these two scenes in Torah are inextricably connected, but also different. Rabbi Sachs goes on to say, although Adam and Eve have been exiled from the garden and there are kruvim keeping them out, the building of the tabernacle and the ark with the covenant, with the Torah, is a way of getting us back to the tree of life. And it is the kruvim now who are guarding the tree of life so that we can get back to it. There are always exiles and returns. And this incredibly sad week, and on a sad day, as the capital of Ukraine is being encroached upon by determined Russian forces with hundreds of thousands of people fleeing the country, to hear such a thought about the hope or even the confidence of Rabbi Sachs in his words of returns after exiles. This added even more comfort to me on top of the sweetness of finding angels hovering in the midst of that which is entirely precious. These days, images of refugees fill my mind. People fleeing for their freedom, for their safety, for their lives. Exiles. I recall the stories of my own family fleeing their homelands for their lives, their beliefs, their safety. I'm entirely connected to and recognize that my very life is entirely dependent upon their successful escapes. I'm so grateful for Rabbi Sachs for this added spark today, that this idea always exiles but always returns. I then found myself transported to the 10th of the 9 weekday blessings in the Amidah. The 19 weekday blessings of the Amidah. Tika b'shofar gadol leherutenu, v'sa nes lekabetz gelu yotenu, v'kabtzenu yachad me'arbot kanfot haaretz, baruch ata Adonai mekabetz nidchei amo Yisrael. Sound the great shofar for our freedom. Raise high the banner to gather our exiles and gather us together from the four corners of the earth. Blessed are you, Lord, who gathers the dispersed of his people Israel. And I add to his people Yisrael, the dispersed people of Ukraine, those who are fleeing, but also those who are courageously remaining. May they return to each other in wholeness and safety, united as a people, angels showing them the way to places of refuge, places of holiness, places for the preciousness of their essential, worthwhile humanity to reside with that of the divine. And may we here find in Torah, in our prayers, and in the angels of our lives, in the preciousness of each other and our world, community, glimmers of hope and consolation and inspiration. May we cherish these sparkles, guard them, keep them safe and close, and because of them, have an abundance from which to send more hope and consolation outward with our prayers and our good deeds. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. I invite up Jordan to read Torah for us, but also an aliyah. For anyone in the room who feels called to honor the coming together of dispersed peoples, to honor in gathering the returns that we have known and all that we are praying for. So if anyone feels like they want to come up and bless the Torah reading as Jordan reads, please do so.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hambrach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu im kol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'ya'asu chol chacham lav ba'aseh hamlecha et hamishkan asa yeriot shesh mashezar utchelet va'agaman v'tolad shani kerubim ma'aseh choshev asa otam erech orech hayeriah ha'achad shmona ve'esrim ba'ama ve'rochav arba'a ba'ama hayeriah האחת מידה אחת לכל היריות ויחבר את 5 היריות אחת אל אחת ו5 יריות חבר אחת אל אחת. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. אמן.
Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu. May the Holy One of blessing who blessed our ancestors before us bless you as you pray for and yearn for and honor all the separations and all the comings together that have been in your life, that have been for your ancestors, and that are happening in our world today. May each of you be blessed with anchors, with precious things to guard and to hold, to give you strength, to give you inspiration, to give you light, to give you love, to give you connection. May you feel angels hovering above you, protecting you, their wings outstretched, because you are precious. And may you feel the presence of Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of the divine, energetic flow of salvation hovering above you and walking with you, guiding you in the center of your lives. And may it be a beacon for you and just a deep empowerment for you as you go out with your hands and your fingers and your voices and your feet and your words and your good deeds to God in the world, to divine in the world, to spread light and love and hope and prosperity, to be a source for bringing others together in a world that is in such need of bringing others together. And we add just an added prayer for all those who are traveling and lost and dispersed and in fear. May they feel our love. May they feel the prayers of the entire world with them as a source of strength and light and guidance. May they have deep inner resolve and so much courage to stay strong and resilient and alive and to be deeply blessed. May we all be blessed in this great endeavor of being human in these most difficult times. V'nomar Amen. Yasher koach. Jordan, do you want to stay for Hagba? When the moment comes, I'm just going to do a healing prayer. Cool.
Stay.
Sit in it. Let's say a blessing for healing. Imagine all of our prayers, we are the angels hovering over all that's precious in the world, and may our words and our prayers be for all those in need of healing. I invite those in the room first to just name anyone you're thinking of for healing. And online, if you want to, on Zoom, if you'd like to unmute yourself, please do so and say the names of those you're thinking of.
My cousin Terry, my friend Hillary, my friend Owen.
My
Susan
niece
and Hillary.
Annalisa and her daughter Frankie.
Edlin, Lorraine, and Dawn. My sister, Alentha Moriarty, and her granddaughter, Ansley Wade.
Steve, is any names written in the chat too?
My friend Shannon Leifa, Frank Hayes, Gabrielle.
We add to those names Yehudit Azna Bat Lina Vavraham, Hanadine Schultz, Sifra, Bobby Schultz, David Wilcox, Lisa Friedlander, Zipporah Epstein, Harav Chaya Sarah Mina Bat Rivka Baila, Harav Miriam Yael Bat Yitzhak Vasara, Chaya Bat Gittel Vahersh, Della Spector, Sally Telpner, Avital Cohen, Isa Martinez, Tony Heald, Sarah Rivka Bat Zahira Yael, Sophia Harris, Janice Litchin, Sanford Goldberg, Lola Sonnenschein, Roxanne Weinberger, Talia Weinberger, Alan Gale, Pam Davis, Howard Booster, Eliana Hirsch, Azrael Ben David Vitalma, Harriet Bat Shmuel V'Miriam, Carlotta Spears, Owen Grush, Linda Barcalau, Rich Karchmer, Lynn Stoltzer, Steve Stoltzer, and the people of Ukraine. Anahena, 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 Rifanala, Anahena, 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 Rifana, La, Nahena, Anahena, Anahena, Rifana, La. We're going to put the Torah away. I'm just going to put the Torah away first, and then we'll bless for the new moon, okay? So we rise as we put away the Torah. And do we have someone who'd like to wrap the Torah after Hagbah? Sing that. Great, Jackie, Rabbi Jackie will do it. Wonderful. Bezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael api Adonai biyad Moshe. Yedidai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yedidai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. 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 Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. Torah, Torah, Hallelujah. It's Chaim hi lemachazikim ba vetom deha meushal teracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
Please be seated. Yeah. Ah. So, we announced the new month, the Shabbos before the new month falls during the week. And this coming Thursday and Friday, Yom Hamishi and Yom Shishi, March 3rd and 4th, we will be moving into our second month of Adar, Adar 2 or Adar Beit. Yay! So first I'd like to do our little song. I don't know if you have it posted or not. Steve will post it? It's in the chat. Thank you. And if you'll notice in the song, it starts out with Nisan. There are different configurations for the months in our calendar. There's 4 New Years. That's a topic of another time. But in this particular configuration, Nisan is the first month, the month with Passover, and Adar is the last month, which is one of the reasons we think why it was the one chosen to be doubled. Another is because it's the month in which we are commanded to be joyful, and so we have a double portion of joy. Nisan Iyar Sivan Tammuz Av Elul Tishrei Cheshvan Kislev Tevet Shevat Adar Brucha Hamchadeshet Kol Eit. A sliver, a quarter, a half, then full light, revealing yourself in the darkness of night. And we go round and round and round, and we go round and round. This is the cycle, the rhythm of time. Hours turn to days, into months, into years. And we go round and round and round, and we go round and round. Indeed we do. So leap year, just briefly, the Jewish calendar has 7 leap months in every 19-year cycle. So 7 leap years, rather, in every 19-year cycle, when an extra month of Adar is added. And this is primarily so that the holidays that are associated with the themes of spring, for example, like Passover, will not end up in the winter or the summer. So, and what would Hanukkah be like also in the summer? Be, the festival of light. And well, so our ancients did that. And also they wanted to connect the holiday of redemption and joy with Passover. So the leap year in Hebrew is also called a Shana Me'uberet, which means a pregnant year, suggesting that it is pregnant with joy and strength. And strength is also from the word Adar, is like the word Adir in Hebrew, which means strength, which is also something we could use an extra dose of, especially this year. And this joy that comes out of the festival of Purim is when our people of ancient times in ancient Persia survived the plots of their wicked enemies. So today we continue to give Hashem thanks, not for just those miracles in the past, but for those in our time as well. And we have much to be thankful for, all those who have been spared from the pandemic, and for so many blessings we have in our lives. And of course, we want to send blessings to the Ukraine to be released from its enemies, like we were in ancient Persia. May the Almighty bring stability and peace and protection to all Jews everywhere and all innocent and vulnerable peoples all over the world. And by the way, so what do we do with Purim? It's in the second Adar that we celebrate Purim. And also, our sages teach us in the second Adar is when we really concentrate on giving gifts to the poor, food and those kinds of things. So we'll double down on that this month, hopefully as a community and individually. So I chose my woman of valor this month to be Vashti with a little bit of Esther. So it's like you can't talk about one without the other. We normally focus on Queen Esther when it comes to the Purim story, and I'm like every young Jewish girl has done that probably since the first time she had Sunday school or religious school. And but let's not forget that the Purim story has two queens. And so I became curious about Vashti this time. Did you know that she was the great granddaughter of Nebuchadnezzar? Yes, that's the guy who, the Persian king who destroyed the first temple. And her father, Nebuchadnezzar's son, had died in a freak accident, and she was forced to marry Ahasuerus, who actually started out as Nebuchadnezzar's, as her father's, whose name was Belshazzar, as his stable boy. And she was in a very unhappy marriage, which came to a head when she was ordered by him to appear naked in front of the men in the kingdom, and she disobeyed him, this being punishable by death. So she was not heard of again and is presumed killed. So our sages sometimes lift her up and praise her for her actions, and sometimes she's thought of as an evil person. So my question is, was she self-important, an evil, disobedient wife, or an original, amazing feminist, a martyr standing up to cruelty? So in order to replace her as queen, Esther must be what Vashti was not, obedient to the king's wishes. Esther was portrayed as docile and submissive, but like Vashti, she also defied the king's law. She was like a mirror image of Vashti's disobedience. Esther came to the king unbidden, and Vashti refused to appear before the king. Both made their own choices. Vashti refused to obey and paid the price. Esther chose to play the system to get the job done. So as we re-examine the text this year, it's important to recognize that more than one type of woman can be a feminist heroine. The author Wendy Anselm writes, Vashti is not a failure and Esther is not a bad feminist. In dangerous situations, there is no easy answer. And there's a little bit of Vashti and a little bit of Esther in all of us. And we call on the strength of both women when making our tough decisions. So that's a little bit about Esther and a little bit about Vashti. We turn to page 258 to bless. Let's see. Do I have the right page? I will double check. 248. That's why it's not showing up here. 248. Thank you. So we'll read together page 248 and then chant the blessing for the new month on page 249. And we'll remember that the month is Adar Beit, and it will be Yom Hamishi and Yom Shishi, where we have Rosh Chodesh, the new month. May it be your will, Eternal One, our God and God of our ancestors, that this coming month renew us with goodness and blessing. Grant us long life, a life of peace, a life of goodness, a life of blessing, a life of sustenance, a life of vigor, a life free from shame and reproach, a life marked by love of Torah and the awe of heaven, a life marked by uprightness and intelligence, wisdom and knowledge, a life in which the yearnings of our heart will be fulfilled for good. Amen. And we add our other prayers and our prayers for the Ukrainian people here as well. Misha Asanisim Lavotenu Vegalotam Me'abdod Lecherut Huigalotanu Bekarov Vikabetz Nidachenu Me'arba Kanvot Haaretz Haverim Kol Yisrael V'nomar Amen. Rosh Chodesh Adar Beit Yehyeh b'yom Chamishi v'yom Shishi Haba Aleinu v'el Kol Yisrael L'tova Yechadeshehu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Aleinu ve'al kol amo beit Yisrael Aleinu ve'al kol amo beit Yisrael L'chaim u'l'shalom L'sason u'l'simcha L'yeshua u'l'nechema V'nomar Amen. You're welcome. That's your book. I won't take it. I'll take mine.
The Aleinu can be found on page 375. We rise. It's our call to really take it upon us to partner with God to heal the world. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגודל מרומי, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. We continue silently. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
We may be seated. We now turn to Mourner's Kaddish, where we remember our beloveds who have passed from this world to the next. I invite people on Zoom to unmute and share names of those you're remembering today.
Paul Cohen,
Shirley Ann Staskell,
Dinah Rexinger. Tony Moriarty.
And here in the room, we're remembering loved ones of congregants who died in the past year: David Clutter, Michael Basin, Marvin Sklan, Ed Elson, Daniel Charles Dietz, Louise Reifman, Harriet Bellinson, Luba Carlton, and Betty First. This Shabbat marks the yahrzeit of Louis Horowitz, Evie Strauss, Barbara Meltzer, Lawrence Allen, Louis Lyons, Ralph Peter Gold, Joseph Rubinson, Florence Green, Sidney Baum, Jean Rosenbaum, Thelma Staskell, Scott Toro, William Ferguson, Sarah Long, Sarah Rosenfeld, Abraham Kaplan, Estelle Gottlieb, Benjamin Liebman, Rita Plotnick, Ernest Bornstein, Nicole Saylor, Vicky Norberg Bohm, Roy Mandolin, Letta Kaplan, Harriet Hirschman, Mendel Sask, Patricia Wilcox. The Kaddish can be found on page 380. I'll also add that let us think of all who have perished in Ukraine and in Israel and anywhere that we're wanting to bring into our hearts. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'yoma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael, bagala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitele v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing.
Thank you to everyone who's here today. Thank you, board hosts. Thank you, Steve Portnoy. Thank you, Pam Irwin, out there in Zoom land. Thank you, all of our Zoom participants and online participants. And it's just so very, very good to be returning to being in the sanctuary with you all. Welcome to new faces and old faces. Just so good to see you. This coming week, we have our Tuesday morning minyan, 7:15. We have a conversational Hebrew class that's been lots of fun at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. And Tuesday evening, I'm joining the Lay-led Torah study group to help lead that. That's at 5 on Tuesday. Friday, we have our morning minyan. And next Shabbat, I realize I could have had you do this, Ben. I'm not used to having a board rep in the room. I'm so delighted. Next week, in the future, I'll get you. Next Shabbat, Torah study at 9:15 and services. And just to encourage you to check out our webpage. I know there was an opportunity to learn about the membership portal this week. If you weren't able to attend that, I wasn't able to attend that. So we can figure it out together. We can learn. I know Steve Portnoy is willing to help. Deborah Wolfson, Kathy Ballin, our office manager. We'll get you all squared away there. It's a really wonderful new feature of Shul Cloud that we've taken on to help organize ourselves. And check out our website. It's delightful and just so beautiful. So much great work has gone into it. And our TS Weekly to find out what else is going on. Before our closing song, I was going to do Kiddush. Was there anything else I needed to do? Okay. Blessing for sweetness. May it be a sweet Shabbat, a healing Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kitashta im kohamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim. I have two more thank yous. Rabbi Jackie, thank you for sharing about the new moon. That was beautiful and interesting and inspired by those wonderful women. Thank you. And Jordan, thank you for your piano and your beautiful chanting of Torah. Let us close with Ojavo, also known as Salam, a prayer of peace. May there be more peace and more peace upon all peoples in our world. Ojavo Shalom Aleinu, Ojavo Shalom Aleinu, Ojavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam Salam Aleinu ve'al kol olam Salam, Salam Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Shalom, Shalom.
Take such good care, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.